Right. Okay, this should be a little better. Not perfect because my camera has some issues, but I think this should be better. All right. So good evening again, beautiful people. I was almost expecting to hear, but before he comes, we'll have the meditation song, because I'm so used to how we do it at church. But certainly it's a pleasure to be here, and I thank you guys for allowing me to be here to speak with you all. And you know that we wanted to just talk a little bit about goal setting, especially as we're here in a new year, 2023. Everybody has their New Year's resolutions that they want to accomplish. And unfortunately, as we've come to realize, most people don't accomplish them, they don't get them done. But even outside of New Year's resolutions, a lot of persons don't actually have goals for themselves for their life that they want to accomplish. And as a result, they're not able to really get to a good place in life, if you want to call that. They're kind of moving without any direction or purpose. So the hope is that this evening, we'll be able to point you guys in the direction of your goals and give you some strategies, some tips to actually accomplish them, and not just have them sitting on the wayside like the majority of folks. All right, so to get us started, I wanted to play a video. I pray technology doesn't fail me today. One moment. Share sound. I don't know if we can manage HD, but it's on HD. All right, just let me know if you guys are hearing. And just drop something in the chat or comment if you're hearing this.
How to set goals. Most people have dreams. When you turn your dreams into a goal, it becomes something that can happen in reality. But why should we set goals? Goal setting is the first step towards success. If you don't know what your goals are, how do you know when you succeed? How do you define success? Therefore, with goal setting, you take control of your life and get focused. People without goals just go where life takes them, without any certain direction. However, people who set goals know exactly what they want and take actions to achieve it. When you're doing what it takes to achieve your goals, you're moving towards the lifestyle that you desire. In order to set goals, you need to think about what you want in every aspect of life: family, relationship, friends, health and fitness, finances, career, education, spirituality, self-development, and any other aspects as you like. Write down how you would like your life to be related to each aspect. Write it as present tense, as if it's already happening, so it will feel close and not something that's going to happen sometime in the future. For example, friends. I'm surrounded by loving and caring friends. I have close friends who are there for me and help me anytime I need. I go out twice a week with my friends and talk to them on a daily basis. We enjoy each other's company, laugh together, and support each other. After you wrote down your lifetime goals, you need to break them into smaller goals. It is impossible to achieve everything immediately. That's why you need to go step by step. By setting smaller goals and achieving them, you create a reality of success and get closer to your larger goals. Sub-goals are practical because they contain actions you can take right now. Your large goals may seem too far and unrealistic, but with sub-goals, you can see your progress towards them. If your goal is to lose 20 pounds in 5 months, your sub-goal should be lose 1 pound a week, go to the gym 4 times a week, create a diet plan, and so on. When you set your goals, it's important to do it in a SMART way. The SMART acronym is a popular method used in business and personal development. It gives a criteria to guide in the setting of different objects. In our case, goals. S stands for specific, M for measurable, A is attainable, R is relevant, and T means time-bound. Now, let's see how to set a SMART goal. Specific. When you define your goal, you need to include as many details as possible. This way you will have a clear picture. It will be much easier to achieve your goal once you know exactly what you want. A non-specific goal would be, I work in my dream job, while a specific one would be, I work in my dream job as a computer programmer. I work for startup companies and make X dollars per month, which allows me to take a break twice a year and travel the world. You can add your working hours, where the job is located, what skills you have, and what qualities you bring to your workplace. You can use questions that will guide you through. What do I want exactly? Why do I want to achieve that? What kind of person do I need to be or grow into? Measurable. When you break your goal into measurable elements, you can keep on track and measure your progress. Measurement will let you know when you achieve your goal. A non-measurable goal would be, I live a healthy lifestyle, while a measurable one would be, I go to the gym 3 times a week, stick to my diet, and meditate every day. Attainable. When you set goals that are important to you, you start to come up with ways to achieve them and figure out what you need to do, learn, and practice in order to make progress. There's nothing wrong with aiming high, but you need to stay realistic. If you want to work out 2 hours a day, but you're a single parent who works many hours, it'll be hard to achieve. In this case, you can set a different goal, maybe half an hour a day, or find a creative solution like taking the stairs instead of the elevator, or use a bicycle instead of driving. Relevant. The goal is relevant only if you truly want it. You need to ask yourself, why do I want it? What is the purpose of my goal? Is it worth the cost and resources? Will I truly be happy going this way? You might want to be a movie star, but you need to think if you want it because you love acting and you want to inspire others, or you just want to be famous, which is also okay, but you need to think it through and find out why you want it and if that is really what you want. Another example, if you wish to have a wife and 5 children but you're still in high school, it is a goal that's relevant for the future but not for now. You can focus on other things at this time. Time bound. If you don't set deadlines for your goals, you lose momentum and procrastinate. When your goals are time bound, you get a sense of urgency and start to work. It may be hard to set a deadline for a large goal, so you can start with setting deadlines for your sub-goals. Try not to set deadlines that are too far. You can do that, but it will be more practical to also set deadlines for landmarks along the way. After completing the list of your goals, it's time to prioritize. It's less effective to try to achieve many goals at once, so my advice is to choose up to 3 goals you wish to focus on right now. For example, I'd like to travel around the world for a year, but it's something I wish to do sometime in my life, not soon. However, I want to write a book in 2 years, so I'll focus on that. Now that you have a clear list of your goals, go and achieve them. What are you waiting for? Thank you.
All right, and that's it for the video. I had some slides I put together recently, but I figured having a video like this might be a little more engaging, especially for the visual learners among us. They can see the drawings that are going on and so on. So that was a nice little segue into what we'll be talking about in the introduction into setting SMART goals. Now, just to see if you guys are paying attention with me, can anybody tell me what the acronym SMART stands for? Or as many of the letters as you can remember. SMART.
I will allow one of my mentees to go ahead. Who will be one of my brave mentees to go ahead? I can help you out with specific and you may continue from there.
All right, I have one letter. I saw Mike unmute and then it muted again. Have no fear. We won't bite.
If you want to go ahead. Okay, the question, Nashika, is SMART. The acronym SMART. Do you remember what each letter stands for? If not all, which do you remember? And I started you off with specific. So you can go ahead from there. If you remember MART, whichever letter you remember, go ahead. Another help, measurable.
Boy.
I have one.
Go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
We have achievable, relevant, and time bound.
Yes, that's it. That's it. Wonderful. So yes, thank you. So yeah, SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable or achievable, relevant, and then time bound. Now, I would ask again if anybody could explain to me what each of those means, but I figure I could just go into it a little later. So that'll be fine. And this trip though, I'll show you guys the little slides that I had put together and we can talk about it some more. All right, so fret not if you don't remember everything. I mean, you can write down whatever you don't remember and we'll go over it again a few times. So how I would have started this is asking you guys what you think a goal is, but you'd have already gotten a little idea of that from the video, right? Napoleon Hill said a goal is just a dream with a deadline. And a couple other folks have their own definitions. The dictionary from Collins says it's the result or achievement toward which effort is directed. And I was looking at this fellow Leon Ho, and he said a goal is an idea of the future or some desired result that a person or group of people envision, plan, and commit to achieve. And I like this definition because it goes beyond just saying, I want to lose weight, for example, but it's something that you think about, you see yourself doing, you plan towards how you're going to get it done, and then you make the commitment to actually do it. So I like this definition. You guys could write this down. Just probably take a screenshot. So as we're here thinking about goals, and we want to see if we can make this session practical, so we can tackle some of your own goals and see how we can make them much more likely for you guys to achieve. So I had it at the end, but I want to ask from now, do you guys have any goals that you'd like to accomplish? And this is in any category. So whether it is career, whether it is with money, self-development, I don't know, somebody who wants to be able to bench press 200 pounds or to lose 5 pounds. Maybe you want to read 3 books for the new year, or you want to get into investing. You know, maybe you want to learn a new skill, whatever it is. What are the goals that you guys have? It doesn't have to be a New Year's resolution. It could just be something in general. So if it doesn't quite sound like a goal to you, you could rephrase it as, what are your dreams? What do you hope to accomplish in life? Anybody at all? We're unsure. Not too sure quite yet. That's also fine. Tell me something. You guys are mostly in high school, right? Around high school age. How about that? I think that's what I remember from the launch.
Yeah, I know, my building.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, all right. All right, so let's ask an easier question. What are you guys planning to be when you finish high school? So what are you planning to do after you finish high school? We start with Adrian, Mr. Walker. When you finish high school, assuming you're not already done or never just finished, what do you plan to do?
Yeah, man. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Actually, I meant yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, man. I'm just joining in just to support.
okay, I get you.
Yeah.
No problem, no problem. But yeah, to any of the others, say Tanika, Nashika, Ricardo, I believe you guys are mentees. What do you plan to do next? Or what are you thinking about doing next? Do you have a job that you want to do? Are you looking to go to college or university? You want to start working? Like, what's your next step? Don't be shy. I don't bite. Usually. Don't have anything?
All right, so let me help here a little bit. Miss Thomas, I know you're in first form in high school. Am I correct, Miss Thomas, Tanika?
Yes, you are.
Very well. All right, so September, you'll be heading into second form. Have you considered what you want to become when you would finish high school or when you would have finished with high school?
I would love to become a lawyer.
A lawyer, very good. All right, so am I helping you, Mr. White?
Yes, you
So-
are.
so
Thank you.
We have a budding lawyer on the floor.
All right, love that. So Tanika wants to be a lawyer. Anybody else know what they want to be? If you're also not sure what you want to be, you can just say not sure, because I wasn't sure.
What about you, Kirkpatrick? Have any idea what you'd want to become?
A pilot.
A pilot.
All right,
That's
all
very
right.
good. And Nashika has shared that she's not sure as yet.
All right, not a problem.
Ricardo, you want to say something? Guys, don't be afraid to just interact. It's for you. And whatever you say, it is highly respected. We won't look at you any different. So just speak up. And I mean, this session is for you, exactly. Ricardo, Hall, are you still?
Good.
Yeah, man, say something, man.
Well, I'm doing what I thought was my passion, which is now law. Um, so really in the future, what I want to do is to come out of it sane, as weird as that's going, and come out of it with the same passion that I started with. That's really how
What you'd like to do. All right, thank you for sharing, Ricardo. I said Justina
so
and
we have-
Martina have a hand.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, you guys can go ahead.
All right, so we'll come back to you, Justina. Oh, Jennifer James Ferguson, I would like to become a teacher. Oh, this is Alea?
I think she's saying
Okay,
yes.
very good, Alea. So I'm back to
Alright.
you, Justina and Christina. Justina and Martina.
When I grow up, I want to be a teacher.
And I'm speaking with, tell me now, identify who I'm speaking with. Is that Justina or Martina?
Martina.
Very good, Martina.
Okay. All right, that's great. That's great. So we have what, 2 teachers, 1 budding lawyer, 1 currently doing law and hoping to stay sane, and 1 future pilot. And RJ said he wants to be a sous chef. Fancy. All right, love to hear it. Love to hear it. So you guys might not yet have all the other goals that persons usually do. That's why I opted to start with this, with what you want to be in life as a career. And then now we want to see if we can talk a little more about like how you actually get to that point in time. So let's try doing this as we're going through this these few slides. Let's have 9 slides. Let's try actually thinking about what we can do to get to that step, yeah? So I want you guys to write down, if you have a piece of paper, if you want to write it on a phone or a tablet, laptop, whatever it is, write down exactly those things that you told me. So whoever wants to be a pilot, teacher, sous chef, lawyer, write it down. And let's see how we can work towards this. While you guys are doing that, I'll touch on this a little bit more. So goal setting really and truly is important, but it's not just me saying it's important. We've noticed that it's important for people all over, because when you don't have a goal, you say it's kind of like you're drifting on the sea. You're in a boat drifting and you have no sails to tell you whether you must go north, west, south, east. So you're just drifting with no direction and you just end up wherever the wind carries you. That's the thing about it. If you don't know where you're going or where you're heading towards, then you can end up anywhere. And you also never know when you reached where you want to be, because you're not really sure where you want to be. Yeah. On the other hand, persons who do have goals and clear goals, but what they want to accomplish, are much more likely to get those goals done. In terms of the New Year's resolution bit, the University of Scranton did a study, and they found that out of all the persons they surveyed, only 8% of them actually achieve their New Year's resolutions. So all the people saying, I want to do this for New Year's and that for New Year's, less than 10% of them actually did it. The vast majority of people didn't. And this is something that you guys will see, you know, as you interact more with the world. If any of you guys start going to a gym, you realize that right now, gyms are loving it. Gym memberships are at a high. Everybody is signing up to go to the gym. Gyms are packed. Why? Because a lot of people have New Year's resolutions about wanting to lose weight, wanting to get in shape or get fit, get more muscles. And so that first 1 or 2 weeks in January, gyms are packed. But then by the time you get to February, not even half the people who were there at the start of the year are still there. Majority of them gone. They didn't keep up with it. They weren't consistent. And the reality of the situation is that this is true for a whole lot of other resolutions and overall things that people want to do. Because they didn't distill it down to a clear goal that they want to accomplish and then take some steps towards getting that goal accomplished, actually doing the thing and sticking with the thing, it just kind of becomes another thing that they forget about and they don't really go far with it. So what we want to do for the next few minutes is see how we can give you guys a strategy, a system to help you guys actually accomplish those goals. So here are just a few reasons why people don't accomplish their goals. So one of them is that they get distracted by other things, such as having other goals. So the video talked about that, right? So if you are trying to do 10 different things all at once, you might find it's hard to prioritize and it's hard to focus on one thing because you have all of these other things competing for your attention. And then instead of getting all 10 done, you get none done. As opposed to if you were just focusing on 1, 2, or 3 things, you might find it's much easier to get those 3 done. And then when you're finished with that, you can start on another 3 things. So trying to do too many things at once can be distracting. Another reason is they don't have a clear plan to accomplish their goals. So each of you guys shared a career aspiration, right? What you want to be in life. Well, those who are more sure. But if it is that you don't have a clear plan as to how to get there, you might find yourself kind of lost or stuck. Especially when you get to the university aspect of things, for those who might need university training. I think law, teachers can go like teachers college. I think pilot, you go to a school. I don't think it's so much university. I'm not too sure how the chef aspect works in Jamaica. I know you can do courses at Heart, but I'm not too sure how the entire process is set up. But for those who will go on to go to university, you will find that you don't have as much guidance when you're there. And it's kind of like there's nobody really telling you exactly what you need to do next. So when you're in high school, you know, well, I just need to go to school, pay attention, take notes, do my exams, get good grades, and graduate from high school. That's it. But then when you get to university now, you're thinking, well, I need to get a job and make money. What kind of job am I going to get? Well, what do I want to do? But you can maybe figure out, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I might enjoy. Or this is a thing that I could make a lot of money from. But you don't have nearly as much guidance to say, okay, you must do this, this, this. So the key is the onus is on you guys now to actually find out what it is that you need to get done and then make a plan as to how you're going to do that. We'll talk about that in a later time from now. So other reasons, they try to do too much too quickly. We said that with the distraction things. They give up too soon. They're not specific enough about what they want to achieve. So they just say, boy, more make enough money. But they're not really sure what that looks like. And another reason is that they don't believe in themselves. So all of these are important. So the video already told us about what the acronym means, what it means to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. So I want to use this time now to see if we can apply this to the goals that you guys have. So let's start with the pilot aspect, right? Who is it that wanted to be a pilot again?
Me.
All right. That was Kirkpatrick. All right, lovely. So Kirkpatrick, do you know what it takes to be a pilot in Jamaica?
Somewhat.
Somewhat. All right. Share with me what you know.
I know that I have to go get a course in aviation, have physics, 2020 vision as well.
Mhm. All right, that's a good start. That's a good start. All right, so you know that you need to do physics, you know you need to do a course in aviation. Do you know where that course is done or who offers that course?
Not as yet.
Say again?
Not as yet.
Not as yet. All right. So that's one of the things that it would help for you to find out. Can maybe Google it, ask around, maybe ask Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, call them on the phone one day. So all of that now comes into working towards having that goal. So yeah, you say you need to have the goal, or you have the goal to become a pilot. You can then break that down now into the different things that you need to do to get to that goal. So you say, you know, you need to have physics, you need to do an aviation course, you need to have 2020 vision. I'm seeing here online, you also need to have a class 1 medical certificate. There's a test that you need to pass. You also need to have flight training done. And a set of other things as well. A set of other things. But what you can do with that goal is look it up, research what those different things are, write them down, and then now ask yourself, what do I need to do to get to those things? So like one of the requirements is you have to be at least 18 years old. Well, for that, you just turn 18, wait till you become 18. But you also know that you need to have physics, right? Do you know if it's C-sex physics or Cape physics?
I believe it's Cape.
Cape physics, all right. Which grade are you in now?
11 or
Oh, you're
fifth
so
form.
rich, man. Okay, man, fifth one. You're almost there, man. So you did C-sex physics already?
No.
Haven't done it yet. You're doing it now, like you're doing it this year?
Yes.
All right. You like it?
No.
Don't like physics. How has it been for you so far, like as a subject?
Challenging.
It's been challenging. It's been challenging. Do you know if you need a particular grade in physics or if you just need a pass?
I would assume you need a particular grade.
All right. I would assume so too, but I don't know. So you see, one of the things that you can do as well to help you in achieving that goal is to find out. So I think it's JCAA, Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, that would handle like giving out the licenses and so on. You can look on their website, jcaa.gov.jm. I just found it by Googling and see what exactly it is that they need, because it could be that you get all the other things, but maybe you don't pass physics. And because you never passed physics, or you passed it, but they wanted a 2 in physics and it did rough and you end up get a 3. And so you're not able to accomplish that goal. And then you're kind of there wondering, boy, should I do over the physics or should I go try to do something else? The physics being rough. So knowing this ahead of time makes it much more likely for you to be able to achieve that goal, because then you can say, well, all right, them some need a 1 in physics. Right now, based on my grades, it looked like a 3. So I need to do something more. Maybe I need to go to my teacher and have him explain to me the things that I don't understand in class. Or maybe I need to friend up the man where always I get A's in physics and get him to help me with homework or so on. Or I get a tutor. Not everybody can afford a tutor. I couldn't afford one in school. But it's things like that, right? And as you're doing that now, it's so much more likely for you to be able to accomplish the goal that you have and actually get to that place where you want to be of being a pilot in Jamaica. And it might sound like I'm just saying this, but for me and persons who wanted to do medicine, it's a very real thing. A whole lot of people want to do medicine in Jamaica and overall. And a lot of times they want the medicine because them did bright and everybody tell them to they must do medicine. Or them parents believe there are only 3 things they can be: doctor, lawyer, engineer. I'm actually glad to see that you guys have different aspirations outside of just those 3 staples. That means that we're kind of breaking that mold from people to say that's the only thing you can be. Right? So I'm glad for that. But a lot of people don't really have the passion for it anyway. And they just say, all right, I want to turn doctor, but they don't actually know what it requires to do medicine. So I recently found out there's actually 3 medical schools in Jamaica. I thought it was only UWI. And if it is that you want to study medicine, you need to get particular grades. Most people just think, well, you need to be the brightest of the class, but it's a lot more specific than that. So if you want to do medicine, in order to get in, they have a point system, and you need to get 24 out of 30 points, and the points are based on your CAPE grades. And I think you need to get like at least straight 2s in biology, chemistry, and one other subject in order to get in. And then even when you get in, the program costs a whole lot of money, $4 million a year. But if you can get 29 out of 30 points, again, something a lot of people don't know, then there's a chance you can get the government subsidy, where the government will pay like 80% of the tuition fee. So it comes down from $4.3 million to about 660,000. It's based on the US dollar, so of course it kind of fluctuates with the exchange rate. So you see how much more specific that is, and how much more detailed it is with that. And now think about the person who is saying to themselves, well, I want to do medicine. I know say my mother and father can't find $4 million a year. So I know I need to get the government subsidy. And therefore I need to get 29 out of 30 points, which means that I need to get, it's based on like the 1s, the 2s, and the 3s. So I need to get at least 5 1s. And the lowest grade I can get is a 2 in order to get that and get into the program. The person who knows that and is saying to themselves, all right, so I need to get a 1 in bio, a 1 in chemistry, and if I'm doing physics, a 1 in physics too, ideally, unit 1 and unit 2, they can work much harder towards this and keep them in front of them, as opposed to the person who's just kind of like, boy, well, I want the medicine, you know. Kind of. Mother son must go do it. The former one, much more likely to get there. And this is true for many other kinds of goals, not just the career goals. So that's one thing, right? So that's being specific. So with your goals, whatever it is, you know, they used a weight loss example in the video. You want to get as specific as possible so that you know exactly what it is that you need, and you can kind of like set up milestones for yourself. So one of your milestones is going to be to get CAPE physics. Yeah. And you go find out if you need to have a 1, a 2, a 3, if it's just a pass, or if you need a particular grade. Another milestone, well, in order for you to get CAPE physics, you're going to need to do CSEC physics first. So again, you need to at least pass CSEC physics, right? And you can work on that. And there are some other requirements. I think you need a certain amount of hours flying. So you need to have flown for a certain amount of hours in order to do it. I don't know all the details, but I have a friend who did it recently. She was actually on TVJ, you know, first Muslim pilot in Jamaica. Yeah, so I could probably ask her and find out what the rest of it is. But you get the picture. So when you transform that goal from just, I want to be a pilot, to now, I need to be 18. I need to make sure I'm medically fit. So I get a, I think it's a medical done, certified by a doctor to say I'm this. I need to get, I don't know, 200 hours of flight training. I need to be able to afford whatever course it is that they're going to do. I need CAPE physics. I need a 2 in CAPE physics. And in order to get that, I also need to pass CSEC physics. When you break it down like that, way easier to accomplish. So that's that. Anything unclear, by the way? You have any questions about that? Or anybody have any questions? All right, sounds like we're good. No questions. All right, let's tackle one more example. But I want you guys to try and do it for yourselves. And think about what it is that you need to become the thing that you want to be. So let's try Sashane, because I actually don't know a lot about this. Sashane, Miss Blake. So you say you want to become a cosmetologist, right? Again, do you know what the requirements are to be a cosmetologist? Well, firstly, you plan to work in Jamaica or overseas? If you've thought about that yet.
Good afternoon. Any one of them.
Any one of them. All right, let's stick with Jamaica for now, because easier to find out the information. All right, so let's say you
Okay.
want to become a cosmetologist in Jamaica. Do you know what you need?
Yes.
Do you know if you have to get a particular license, or if you need a degree, or if you need a certificate? Do you know what you need to be a cosmetologist?
Yes.
All right, you can share with us what you need or what you know so far.
Well, you need to go and teaching school for
Mm-hmm.
year. You need to do go on school for nails and something there.
All right, all right. So you need to go to a
My
school for that.
certificate and then.
Right, and get a certificate. Mm-hmm. So I just looked it up, and according to St. Catherine Municipal Corporation, they actually tell you what you need to get the license to do it. So firstly, to do it, you need to get a license, yeah. In order to get the license, I think you'd have had to go on to school. And they say other things like you need your TRN, you need valid ID, 3 passport size pictures, um, a valid health permit from the health department. And then I think this one is saying you need the certificate in whichever one you want to do. It talks about like being a barber, being a beauty therapist, and so on. All right. So you know you need to go to school for it. Do you know which school offers it?
No.
Or not sure? All right, no problem. So that's something that you can look into to figure out more about how this thing is that you're going to do. So I'm looking it up now, and I see this link saying there's 14 cosmetology schools in Jamaica. At least the list has 14, and they have them like in different parishes. So there's a Ocho Rios one. It's also done at Excelsior. There's one done at Distinction College. Hart also does it. So from you look at that now, then you know that you have some options. And then you can look through those and pick which one makes the most sense to you. Maybe you can yeah. Sorry there, guys. My laptop shut off. It has a battery issue, so I shifted the cord accidentally and it shut off. I've joined back on my phone though, but I'm gonna have to pull up at the laptop to get the slides going. So I was just asking Sasha if you have any friends who are cosmetologists or any neighbors, anybody who you can talk to?
Sashane?
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
any cosmetologists you can talk to?
No.
All right, so you don't know any right now. So my suggestion to you, recommendation to you would be get to know one. Find one, maybe one in your community, one in your neighborhood, and see if you can talk to them. Just let them know that you're interested in doing what they do, and then you can ask them about the process. What did they have to do? Where did they have to go to school? How much did it cost? So, for example, you can know if you don't have to save up money to do it for yourself. You don't have to ask your parents to pay for it. You can also ask them where they started. So, if, for example, they had to start out to their living room because they couldn't afford a building at first, or if then they borrow a friend place, if they maybe when they're at school they gave them a loan to help start their own thing. And one of the beautiful things about this is that you guys all have mentors. So some of these questions that I'm asking you guys, you don't have to do it alone. You can also ask your mentors for help. So they can help you get in contact with somebody who's in that field that you want to be in, and you can find out more about the thing that you want to do. And so just give yourself much better chances of going out there and doing, your best at it. So that's that. While I try to get back my laptop going, I'll share with you guys just some examples of how I did this when I was in university. Well, I'm still in university. I'm in my final year now. But I started UE in 2016. All right, so I've seen that there's a Heart Cosmetology School in Halfway Tree. There's a good start. You can walk over there one day if you have the time, call them, email them, find out what the process is like. Yeah. Yeah, so what I did was I started UA in 2016 and I was supposed to do CAPE actually, but we were very late on applying to go to CAPE to go to a sixth form. And so I actually didn't get into any of the sixth form that I wanted to get into. I applied to a bag of them. And I ended up going to UA like in the middle of September, late. But my principal was saying, you know, you can try UA because they have this prelim program where you can do courses that replace CAPE. So instead of doing CAPE for a year, you could do these courses for one semester, which is like 3 months. And it would be the equivalent of CAPE at UA. So any courses you needed to do that needed CAPE, you could do that. And then I wanted to do medicine, so I could use that to transfer to medicine. Yeah. So I started UA 2016. I was 16 years old at the time. Right? You guys can guess how old I am now. And started the prelim program. Started late, of course. Didn't know a lot about what I was doing. And the first semester was rough because I was 3 weeks behind. I had tests and labs to catch up on and everything. I failed all my first in-course tests. But I realized that I had to improve. I had to do better. So I had to buckle down and really get into the studying thing and focusing. And things got a little better nearer to the end of the semester. But one of the things that I did, and I still do to this day, is I found out who all the smart people were. No, I'm not saying that you should become friends with somebody solely because they're smart and, you know, only want them for their brains or what they can contribute. But as you're choosing your friends, as you're choosing the people who you're going to hang around with, you want to choose people who can help you get to your goals, just as you're helping them. So when you go to university, if you guys decide to go, university is not for everybody, right? It will mad you. But anyways, it's a different point. A lot of persons go there and they basically broke out, right? They say university as the time to meet a lot of girls or boys, meet them both, to party a lot, and basically just to have fun. As opposed to actually getting a particular degree, the thing that they came there for, and also meeting people who can help them later in life. You guys will learn early on that networking is very important, especially in Jamaica. Who you know is sometimes more important than what you know. And even just having these mentors here, getting exposed to certain people. We talk about links a lot in Jamaica. Links go far, and not just in a negative way. Like the people who you know can put in a good word for you with their boss, or make you know so there's a job opening here, or tell somebody else about your business. So networking, important. But yes, I had to surround myself with people who weren't going to be wasting their time and wasting their parents' money, because they never have no money. And I surrounded myself with persons who also wanted to get into medicine, which was natural. So, you know, medicine is very competitive. They tell you always the brightest, so the bright people have to go there. So we had a study group of ours that got bigger and bigger with time. And we would make sure we worked on labs and tutorials and different assignments together. And so that we could get the best grade. And that's what we did. We have some great pictures from back then. And it was having myself surrounded by that group of people. We studied together. We did past paper questions together, that kind of thing. We're able to encourage each other and get a lot more done. You know, so we were able to get better grades as a result of that. And then we did that for the first year. I actually didn't get into medicine from that first year with the prelim courses because I failed maths. Quite a story, right? So I went back and did another year, and the same thing again this time. What I started doing is preparing myself for the semesters to come, because I knew I had to get those A and A plus grades to be getting into medicine. So I would, as I made friends, I'd find people who had done those courses already. So I had to do biology, chemistry, and I also did math as my third subject. I found people who did the courses already. I got the lecture notes. So for those of you guys in high school, you might not be as familiar with it, but when you go to university, it's not just a teacher standing up and talking and then you write notes. They have PowerPoint slides and they give lectures. It's a lot less teaching and a lot more lecturing. Them talk, and if you want to learn, you learn. They're not really business if you learn or not. They're getting paid anyway. They just come to talk and lecture, and it's your job to decide if you want to learn or play games on your phone. They do not care. They allow you to do whatever you want. So I would get the lecture notes ahead of time and actually like try to read a little before the lectures so that I could have an idea of the topics. And then when I got to class now, it would stick a little better because I kind of started understanding it already. And I would already have questions to ask based on what the topic was. Yes, I'd get the lecture notes ahead of time. I would get the tutorial questions, the different assignments that you need to get done, even the labs. And yeah, start working on them with our study group ahead of time. Same thing with the past paper questions. Get everything from early and find out things like, okay, which lecture is the nicest one, which one's the worst one, which lab day, because you had labs on different days, is the best one to go into. I'll tell you guys from now, although you're probably not gonna remember. If you do any course with labs, like a chemistry, a physics, a biology, or so on, Monday labs are the worst. Yeah. Because you don't know what to expect, and you're like the guinea pigs for the week. The best labs to be in are later in the week, like on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And what you do is you find out from the people on Monday what kind of questions they got asked, what they did, and then you're able to plan and prepare for that. And all of these factors right back into the whole goal setting idea, right? So it wasn't just me saying, boy, I have to get good grades. I had to do something in order to get those good grades. Yes, I had to study. I also had to prepare. I had to plan. I had to make sure I was getting good grades on my in-course tests, my lab assignments, my tutorials, and any other things that came up in the course. And one of the ways I did that, to just find out as much as I could about the course. So sometimes you have like 3 different lecturers on one course because they have different times. Not everybody can go in the morning. Some people might go in the afternoon or later in the evening. They might find out which lecturer could teach the best, which tutorial stream had the best tutor. And what you try to do is set yourself up to have the best chance of success. That's what we did. And I'm in medicine now, so I can tell you about that, right? I could tell you a whole lot more about my university journey. But for the sake of time, I'll leave it there. But I'll say just enough to say that you guys want to try and find out as much as you can. Whatever it is that you're doing in life, do your research. So if you guys are talking about what career you want to pursue, the pilot, the cosmetologist, the lawyer, even the one in university right now, find out from people who did it before. Ask them what it was like. Ask them if they have any advice. You might not know a lawyer right now. Well, actually, you do know one. You know Ricardo. Well, somebody in the process, right? Or you can ask your mentors as well if they can get you in touch with somebody. And what you try to do is prepare yourself as much as possible. As they say, proper preparation prevents poor performance, right? And I'm going to try and see if I can open back Zoom on my laptop and shoot for you guys there. So that's in being specific as you can. Take your big goal, break it up into small goals, and then try and make a plan for how you're going to get to that goal. What am I going to do to make sure I get the good grades? How am I going to save up money to make sure I can afford the certificate? Or to be able to go to the aeronautical school for the pilot license, right? Is this Zoom thing opening? All right, it's going to take me a little more time to open this. So that's being specific. Another thing we talk about is being measurable, and it comes under the same line. You won't know how close you are to your goals if your goals aren't measurable. So if you're not able to tell how close am I to getting there, and that's why it's also good to break it down into simpler things or break it down into smaller steps, and then you can say, okay, I've done step 1. Now I can go on to step 2. Now I can go on to step 3. So let me try with somebody who's a little closer to the goal. That's Ricardo. You're the one that said you're in university, right? Or you're doing law right now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Which year are you in?
First year.
Oh, you're in first year. Okay, good stuff. You just started.
Yes.
All right. So you already know how many courses are you doing this semester?
Courses for semester 2.
You say it's 4 courses?
6.
6. Yeah, that sounds like law. 6 courses. All right. Do you have any past papers for the courses that you're doing?
Yes, I do have access to them.
All right, you have some. Do you know which textbooks you need for the same courses that you're doing for each of them?
No, not yet. Because school resumes next week. We're not.
Okay, school starts next week. Okay. All right, here's my follow-up question. You have any friends who are in second year?
Third year.
You have friends in third year. All right, so here's what you can do. As you're trying to keep your sanity in law and not make them mad you, and my friends who are in law and medicine, they I'm not going to say they go mad, but they talk about the stress and the pressure of it a lot. I mean, at university or Madi. What you can do is ask your third year friends, what textbooks do I need for these courses? And just ask them to send you like a PDF. So which you prefer? You prefer physical books like the hard copy, or you can read a book online?
To be honest, a mixture of both. It really doesn't matter.
Okay, it doesn't matter to you. All right, so it's cheaper to just get the PDFs and be able to read those on your laptop, your tablet, your phone, whichever it is. Some people prefer the physical books though, and that's fine. But as I say, you're good with either one. So next question I'll go ask you, and all of this is towards the same measurable aspect, right? Do you know which course is the hardest course this semester?
No, I'm not sure.
Not sure. So that's another thing that you can ask your third year friends. And then when you're studying, you put most of the effort into that course that you know is the hardest one. Or you make sure you get extra time on doing that. You know the pass rates for any of the courses this semester?
No.
Not sure, right? So all of these now are things that you can find out. You can just ask. I saw a pass rate for a course on Twitter yesterday. It was a course called physical chemistry, and the pass rate was 3%. Amazing, right? So I think like 67 people did the course and only 2 people passed. Now, for a course like that, the majority of courses aren't like that, by the way. That's very unusual. But for a course like that, you'd want to know ahead of time. And if you realize the majority of people are failing that course, and you want to keep your sanity and not go mad and feel like you have a dropout, then you want to know ahead of time, and you want to see what can I do differently to make sure that they're not mad me. So I think in law, there's a course called Tort Law and Tort Law 2 that is famous for being very difficult and having a high failure rate. I don't know if you've heard about 30.
That start for this year.
That's when it starts. All right. So you see the things that you can do. So as even your goal of saying you want to be sane, you can make it more specific. You can make it more detailed. You can say, well, I don't want to have any mental breakdowns this semester. That's one way to look at it. Or you could rephrase it in terms of the grades that you want to get, or the time that you want to be able to spend relaxing and not studying. And again, as after you've done that and you've decided exactly what it is that you want out of it, you can then now take steps to getting there and say, all right, well, in order to not stress out when it's exam time, I need to study at least 2 hours a day, just 2 hours. And then if I've studied 2 hours a day, I can spend the rest of the time playing games, watching TV. What do you like to do for fun?
Watch football.
Watch football. All right, there you go. So you might know that, all right, if I can just study 2 hours for the day, say from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, the whole of the rest of the night, I can spend watching football, for argument's sake. Okay? So it's things like that. I just got back into the Zoom on my laptop, so I'm going to share the last bits of the PowerPoint. I know we're running a little over time, so I'm going to just wrap up quickly. All right. Great. So let me just share turn this down on my phone and just share my screen again. Yeah. So a lot of the things I'm telling you guys, of course, are related to your career goals and what you guys want to be. The pilot, the cosmetologist, the lawyer, and so on, the teachers. The teachers would have to go like a Shortwood Teachers College or another teachers college. You should find out what CXCs or CAPE subjects you need in order to become a teacher, and then make sure that they're offered at your school, because not every school does every subject, and make sure that you're able to pass. And if you're struggling with it right now, or you think you might struggle with it later, find somebody who did it and can give you some advice. Things like that. So a quick summary or recap. Your goals must be specific. It's not enough to just say, I want to be a pilot. That's a good start. You should also say, I want to be a pilot by such an, or let me put it better. No, I think that's actually fine. The pilot example is fine. But if you had a different goal, like say, I use the weight loss example, I want to lose weight. It's not enough to just say, I want to lose weight. You need to know how much weight you want to lose. Is it 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 20 pounds? And then the time bound comes in, right? When do you want to lose the weight by? If you lose the weight in 10 years' time, is that okay? Or do you want to lose the weight by summer so that you can fit into the summer outfit where you have and have the summer body? I don't know. Depends on you guys, right? You want it to be measurable so that you can jump on a scale, for example, and say, okay, I've lost half a pound today. I've lost 1 pound over the course of this week or these 2 weeks. And therefore, I am 20% of the way towards my goal. Right? You want it to be attainable. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, it should be something realistic in a sense, something that you can actually achieve. So you're not going to become a pilot at age 12. I don't think so. You're not going to lose 20 pounds in 1 week unless you do some surgery and cut out, right? Things like that. You're not going to become a lawyer overnight. Like there are certain processes that you have to go through. There are steps you have to go through. And some things are too much for you to take on at one point in time. So you have to make sure that your goals aren't too big so that you're destined to fail. You also need to make sure that they're relevant. Are you achieving these goals because you want to, or because somebody else tell you that that's what you should do? Does it actually matter to you? That kind of thing. And as I said before, you want your goals to be time bound. And with all of these, well, I'll bring it up in a second. They're not showing up in the right way. I have some additional tips to just help you guys achieve the goals that you have. And I would encourage you guys, even after this session is done, think about some other goals that you want to accomplish. So is there anybody here who would want to get into investing?
Yeah.
All right, Javier said he wants to get into investing. All right. So that's something that you could do for this year. And ask around. You guys have what a lot of people don't have, which is a mentor right before you that you can ask about these things and see how to get into it. So you can get your feet wet in investing. Start this year. You can find out what exactly you need to get into it. I don't think you need to be 18, but maybe your parents would have to open an account for you and you invest through them, or you give them the money and make them buy it for you. It depends on how it goes. And you can get into that, and then you find out what are the different kinds of investments out there and what you might be interested in. So you have stocks, you have bonds, you have unit trusts, right? And I'm not gonna take the time to describe what each of those are to you guys, but you look into things like that. And then when you get into investing and you have a better idea of what it is, you've done your research and you know a bit more about investing now, maybe your goal changes to, I want to grow my money by 10% this year. And so you look on the different options that you have. And that's a goal by itself. It's specific, 10%, it's measurable. You can know when you reach 1%, 2%, 3%, and it's time bound because it's this year. So it's before the year is over, right? And then you look at the different options and you say, okay, well, I see this unit trust that Barita has, and it's offering 5% gains or 5% return for the year. That does sound like you can get to my goal. I'm not too sure about the investing in stocks thing. I'm not too sure how to do that yet, and I don't want to just throw money at it and lose it. So maybe I'm going to do some more research on that. But I see one ad on TV talking about this Mayberry bond, and them say you can get 12% interest for the year. That sounds like something I could get into. And so that might fit into your goal. But if your goal was just want to make enough money, you wouldn't be able to make that decision as to what to invest in because you don't know how much money you want and you don't know when you want it by. Whole difference, right? You could have bought a stock and the stock is down for 3 years before it finally starts going up in price and you can be able to make a profit. But if you never have no goal, you're not going to know what to do, what to choose. That's an investment example, right? So I should add to this, ask your mentors. That's a very easy way for you guys to research. All right, that don't look too bad, but yeah, ask your mentors. We said before, take the big goal that you want to accomplish, break it up into smaller goals. So Javier said he wants to get into investing. You could also try and get saving into that as well, right? So if you want to invest, you first need to have money to invest. And it's either somebody gonna give you the money, you're gonna work for the money, or you're gonna save the money from whatever it is you have. So starting to save and save regularly would be a good start to be able to get into investing and have money to invest. And you can, as I said, read about it some more, look on YouTube, find earning season, listen to them talk about the market. Kalila Reynolds has a playlist on YouTube where she talks about getting into investing. You can listen to that, become more informed, and again, talk to your mentors. So you break up the goal into smaller things. It makes it easier for you to get done. It's easier to measure your progress because you know exactly where you are with all your milestones. And also, if you guys know about this chemical called dopamine, it's the reward chemical. It makes you feel good when you get something done. You get dopamine when you do things that produce pleasure. So when you eat the ice cream, the reason why you can nyam and nyam and nyam ice cream, but not your rice and peas and your brown stew chicken maybe, is because of the dopamine that's released when you do it. You also get dopamine from exercise and from rewarding yourself or from doing things that make you feel like you did a good job or completing things. So with the big goals, sometimes one of the reasons why people don't get it done is they don't feel motivated to go through it all the way. They don't get any dopamine, any reward until they get to the end of the goal. On the other hand, if you take that big goal and you split it up into smaller steps, like what we were showing with Kirk and the pilot example, you might get a little reward from saying, okay, I got the medical done. So I've accomplished this part. I feel good. I'm making progress. I'm on the way. Or maybe for was it Sasheen? She knows that she want to become a cosmetologist, and maybe they said she have to finish high school first. So she does that, and she's like, all right, yes, I've made it this far, and now I just need to do these 2, 3, 4 other things, and I'll be able to get there. It helps when you break it up into smaller goals. Even for the mentors as well, the same thing. Being able to reward yourself with completion of tasks makes it a lot easier to get them done. Another quick thing, some people add on an ER to the SMART acronym, and the ER stands for evaluate your progress, and R for reward yourself. So evaluate your progress just means check in on how well you're doing. So you wanted to get an A in school this semester. How much studying have you done? And you decide that in order to do that, you're going to need to study and know some topics really well. And so you have 20 topics for this course. 2 weeks in, 1 month into the semester, how much topics have you covered so far? How many more do you need to get done? That kind of thing. Monthly checkups or weekly checkups, depending on your goal. Or if it's a much longer goal, like a career ones, maybe you want to check up every 6 months or every year. See how close you are to your goal. It helps to remind you about what you're doing and keep you inspired and motivated. The R, as I said, is for reward yourself. So you get a little reward in your brain when you complete some of the smaller milestones, but you can also reward yourself with something if you get there. So let's say, coming back to Javier, let's say he decided that his goal was to save $10,000 first for the year and then get into investing. And he broke it up and said, all right, I want to try and save $1,000 a month, at least, right? If he's successfully able to save $1,000 for the month of January, and in fact, let's say he saves $1,300 extra, him can take $200 out of it. Yo, it's expensive nowadays, you know. Him can take $300 out of it and buy himself a cheese patty to reward himself for being disciplined in saving money. How much
Hey,
a cheese patty now?
when you say like take 10% and invest it, you mean in stocks or you mean like other ways to make money?
So stocks is the way that I currently invest, and it's the way I know the most about. But there are other ways that you can look into. So with stocks, you make money when the price of the stock goes up. That's called capital gains, and you sell it, or when the company pays out dividends. But dividends are usually very low.
Oh, like Forex. You mean Forex?
So Forex is another example, but I would send you right back to the first point, which is to research about it. And you'll realize that the vast majority of people who do get into Forex lose money. And when they do make money, if they do, it's a very small amount. Also, it takes a whole lot more time and like effort to make money from Forex than you would with other forms of investing. So yeah, it is a form. People do it, but the ones who are making most of the money are big companies who are doing it every day with millions and millions of dollars. So when they get like 1% gain, it's on $500 million. So it's a lot more to them than when you put in your $1,000 and you get 1% and it's $10, you know. But yeah, I won't discourage you. If you're interested in it, find out about it, do some research on it, and yeah, see how you can actually get started on it.
You could also invest in skills, right?
Definitely, definitely. You can invest in skills, you can invest in yourself. So like me, even though I do medicine, I have spent some time doing computing, and I learned how to design websites. And I actually got a job from a client to design a little web application. It's a little timer for a football game, but I did that and I got paid. It wasn't a lot of money, it was 50 US dollars, but it was my first ever job in the computing kind of sphere. And this is while I was a student, right? And I learned that entirely off the internet. That's a form of investing in myself. In fact, I actually joined a tech competition the other day. It's called the Bloom Project. And we had to like put an idea for something that we wanted to build. And long story short, my team won. And all of that again is in computing. Right. And so because of that competition, I have a lot more skills in software development and in programming. And I can use that if I want to get myself into the computing field, get a job in computing. Yeah. So you can definitely invest in yourself, and you should invest in yourself. You know, it's not just tangible skills like say a computing or a project management or accounting. It can also be in having a better mindset, being more disciplined, you know, those kinds of things. And again, I'll send you right back to your mentors for tips and advice on how to do that. Before I go to the next slide, did anybody have any questions? Any other questions? All right, I don't hear any, so I will press on. But if you ever have anything to ask, by all means, you can stop me at any time. I'll say I'm wrapping up because I still say we're overtime. All right, so the last of the tips. So again, research, find out as much as you can about it and what's the best way to do it. Make it as easy as you can for yourself. Break up the big goal into smaller goals. So don't try, bite off more than you can chew. If you want to finish a big plate of food, you start with a forkful, a spoonful each time. Yeah. I would say you can make the goals smarter. Another beautiful thing is accountability. So don't just do the thing on your own. Have people who can help you and remind you and push you to get it done. So if it's gym you want to go, have some gym partners who will wake you up out of your bed to get up and go to the gym, or who will follow you in the evening to go to the gym. Again, you guys have a big benefit in that you have mentors who can keep you accountable. So you can tell them about the goals that you have and they can check in on you. Of course, though, this is the digital age. So you guys have things like your smartphones. You can set a reminder on your calendar and tell it to remind you at 6 o'clock every day that you need to study or exercise or eat right today or read a book. Whatever it is, you can set reminders for yourself, and that helps to keep you accountable and make sure you're still working on getting the goal done. So reminders are very important in the whole accountability framework, and having support groups, people who can help you get there, so you're not trying to do it by yourself. They say if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together, right? Have people who are traveling with you, working with you on the goal you want to go to. You want to become a cosmetologist? Find 3 friends who want to become cosmetologists. Talk about it with each other. Share knowledge, share information, work on it together. You want to invest? Find some friends who are investing. Javier, you look like you're about to say something.
Oh yeah, I also go to the gym.
To be honest, the last time I went to a gym was to use their bathroom.
Oh. You want me help you with that? The gym stuff.
I would say sure. I would say sure. Yeah.
I'm a gym rat, that's why.
Oh, yeah, sure. It is something I would probably want to get more into. Yeah. Right now, most of the time the exercise I do is from home. But yeah, it is something that I should get into because we start putting on weight.
Normally write plans with people and help them out, that's why.
Well, that's lovely. Yeah, yeah, I could definitely look into that. Anything, well, let me talk to you after. Yeah. And so you see right there, even in the middle of this, you have support, you have people who can help you. And what he just said is actually very helpful. Having a gym plan, or an exercise routine makes it so much more easier to stick to something and get to whatever weight loss goal or muscle bulk goal you want to get to than just saying, boy, I want to get fit. How am I going to get fit? Well, I go to 20 squats and 10 sit-ups and this 3 times a week. So much more likely to get there. So don't sleep on accountability and having people around you who can support you. Another aspect of that I say as well, make it sustainable for yourself. So sustainable is something you guys should be familiar with. You talk about sustainable development and being sustainable with your environment, all of that jazz. Sustainable just means that you're able to continue doing the thing without it like failing or stopping or not going anywhere. Right? Again, a lot of people have goals, they don't go far because it's not sustainable. So say, for example, them say they want to eat healthy and decide that they're going to be vegan and they're going to be vegan today. So from today, them stop eat any form of meat. They cut out all forms of animal products, so no egg, no dairy, no cheese, nothing like that. And they go cold turkey, as they call it. And within 1 day, them are bars for murder because they've tried to change so quickly. And for them, the change isn't sustainable. They're going to give up. Majority of people who try to go vegan give up within a week. It's not something that they do. On the other hand, I am vegetarian, not vegan, and I've been vegetarian for the last, 4 going on 5 years. How did I do it? It started small. So first, because I'm Adventist, we're already used to the plant-based diet, and we're already introducing things like the beans and the tofu, even the veggie chunks, which I'm not a big fan of. We're already getting that into my diet, and I was used to having a lot of those. And my mother, was over time making our diets healthier. So they were already like 2 or 3 times a week. My food would not be meat. Might get some fried tofu or like some lentil stew, something like that. So it was easier for me starting from that to then go to 4, 5 days a week without meat to where I'm now, which is no meat at all. I've not had KFC or any form of chicken in the last 4 years. So you want to make it sustainable, you want to start small. Another thing to do is to remove the distractions, the things that are going to be barriers to your progress. So again, with a diet example, if you want to cut out chicken, you can't there on your friend. We're gonna talk about fried chicken all day long. You can't be buying chicken for your friend them at KFC and say you want to cut out chicken. It's going to tempt you. Or you want to eat healthier, you can't be putting the ice cream right out on the what you call it now, in the front of the fridge for you to see it every time you open the fridge. You need to hide it or stop by it and get the other people in the house to hide it from you so that you don't see it in front of you and it's not there as a temptation. So you want to remove temptations that might keep you from doing the thing, and also any little thing that might make it harder for you. So if, for example, say you want to study, but you also know that you love anime, and if you start watching 1 episode of Naruto, you're going to watch it till you drop asleep. You tell yourself, well, I go study first and then watch anime after. So you don't start it and then can't keep yourself from it and then don't get any studying done. Likewise, if say you cannot study in your bed because you're going to drop asleep, again, removing the barriers to progress and creating the best environment, you use your computer table instead. You don't study on the bed. Or if you have a study room, a living room, somewhere quiet, you can remove the distractions, get some headphones in, listen to something calming or stimulating. You do that because what you want to do is make it as easy as possible for you to get the goal done. If you come back to the working out thing, if say it's gym you need to go and you need to get encouraged to go to the gym, when you get up in the morning, you keep like your gym shoes or your gym clothes right in front of you. So you don't need to do any extra work to find them and look for them. You try and make it as easy as possible for you to get your thing that you want to get done. If you're studying, leave the book open in front of you or something. Hide the phone. Get one of those apps that locks you out of your phone when you've been on it for too long. Make it as easy as you can to get that job done. And that's how you can help make whatever change you're trying to do sustainable. We already talked a lot about strategy and having a plan to get to your goals. This ties right in with research, finding out what's the best way to do it, and then thinking about, okay, how am I going to get this done? What should I do? Don't have to do it alone. You have your mentors beside you to help you. I think this is probably my last slide. Oh, it's my second to last slide. You will have failure. You're not going to achieve every single thing that you want to do all the time. But as they say, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. I'm in medicine now. When I first tried to get into medicine, I failed pre-calculus. I got a 34%, right? So F2, 34% out of 100. I failed miserably. But when I saw my grade and I realized I had to do better, I tried again. I didn't just drop maths. Some of my friends dropped maths and did stuff like psychology or other courses because it was easier. But I tried again. We had a much better teacher and I hung out with my friends who were geniuses in maths. I didn't even like maths. But I did that. I did a lot more work. I paid attention in class. I went to 2 tutorials a week instead of 1. It's like I went to extra classes, if you want to call it that. And I got an A in maths the second time. I still never get in that first year. So I had to go back and do another year in trying to transfer. And I was doing so much better in maths. I got A's and A pluses in maths. I was one of the best students in maths this time around. And then I got into medicine, right? But I didn't get it the first time. You are going to buck up on difficulties. You are going to have times where you know you're supposed to do the thing and you just don't end up with it. But the key is to get up again. You know, as the Bible said, the righteous falls 7 times and gets up again. Or I think it's the Chinese or the Japanese say fall 7 times, gets up 8. That's the idea, right? You keep going, you keep doing it, you keep trying, and eventually you'll get there. But make sure you have a SMART goal, you have a system that you're working with, you have a strategy, you do your research, plan it out, get some friends to help you, get some advice, get your mentor with you, have people who will remind you and encourage you, and make a little reward for yourself along the way. Break down the big goal into smaller goals, and it'll be a lot easier for you to achieve. And that, I think, should be my last slide. As I was going to ask you guys about your goals at the end, but I thought it would help more to ask at the beginning to get you guys more engaged in it. All right, so now I'm actually done. Does anybody have any questions at all? Or does anybody want me to go back to a slide? Like maybe you were writing notes and you never got to write it in time, or didn't want to take a screenshot, let me know. I can also send this to Auntie Jackie if anybody wants the presentation. All right, it looks like everybody is great. So I hope you guys have seen, you know, just a strategy and a method to setting your goals, setting SMART goals or even smarter goals, and, you know, see the path to getting it done. I understand how to go from idea to execution, to make the thing happen, actually become the teacher, actually become the pilot and the lawyer and the cosmetologist and the sous chef. Yeah. Get your goals done, accomplish what you want to accomplish in life. And, you know, I wish you guys very well. All right, I'll stop sharing here.
Thank you very much and a wonderful presentation. Auntie Damali, Auntie Damali.
I'm here. All right, so thank you, Tenika. And with our virtual hands, we will now say a big thank you to our presenter, Matthew. With our virtual hands, let me see. Let me try and find my virtual hand. All right. Well, it was right here, but I don't see anybody else doing it, you know. Maybe people like me can't find it, but I'm sure other persons can. All right. So I also thank you so much, Justina. I want to say thank you to everyone who was able to join on behalf of our founder, Ms. Jackie Lawrence, and the executives and everyone with Eagle's Wings Portmore Mentorship Program. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for supporting our mentees. And definitely, we did enjoy your company. I also, on behalf of our founder, want to say Happy New Year. Even though we are at the 8th day, maybe it's not so new anymore, but Happy New Year to all of us who I would not have gotten a chance to express that with as yet. We were expecting among the persons who joined, we were expecting Miss Juliet Nair, Miss Rosie Stewart, Novelet, Wellington, Alva Graham. I am not sure if they were able to join, but I'm not seeing these persons by name. So if you're here, you can indicate that you were here with us. I know that we had up to 28 devices, but of course we would have had more than 28 persons online. And again, I want to say thank you so much for joining. I want to express special thank you now to our presenter, Matthew, who took the time out of his busy schedule. Of course, if it is not doing something on the computer, it would have been studying or he did say rewarding himself. So I want to express special thank you. And we did appreciate the method of your presentation. You kept it quite interactive. And I want to say again, thank you. I know you've always been there for us and you are a part of us. And I'm sure our mentees and our mentors do share that sentiment. Thank you again, Matthew, and we look forward to having you in other sessions, presenting with us, sharing with us. I will use that word instead. And of course, for the mentees who participated and shared with us, I want to say thank you. I'm going to end with what we started with. And what we started with was the acronym SMART. Though the acronym rather in the end turned to smarter, I'm going to ask for the very smart persons to just type in the chat what you would have remembered from the acronym, meaning what the acronym meant, right? So smarter, we did start with smart, but we ended with smarter. So I'm going to ask our I'm going to give our mentees first the opportunity to remind us of what the acronym SMARTER meant. I'm waiting, guys, you can type, right? So or if you want to open your mic, raise your hands, open your mic and share with us what the acronym SMARTER meant. I would appreciate that. So while somebody raise their hand or open the mic or type in the chat, I am going to give a mentor. Probably I can start with mine. If I were to say one of my goals is I want a healthier lifestyle. Can somebody help me to make that more specific? All right, maybe I'm putting too many things at you. And Matthew did say if we put too many things in the mix, we can become distracted, right? All right, so Matthew is helping me out here. And Matthew says, I want to eat more fruits and vegetables. And maybe, I think it's Roger, my exercise person here, or Javier, I can't remember which of the gentlemen who is into that. Maybe he could help me in terms of the exercising aspect, right? So that is me now trying to make my goal more specific, right? So rather than just to say, I want for 2023 a healthier lifestyle, Matthew has helped me out by saying, I want to eat more fruits and vegetables. How that sounds, guys? I wish I was a
It's
little
it's a
bit
good
closer.
start.
It's a good start. If I were a little bit closer, then I would try and give everybody. I think maybe it's dinner time and you don't feel so much like you want to engage with me. But that is all right. That is all right. I didn't get anything for smarter. I didn't get a mentor. I'm gonna go back to what one of my second requests. One of my second requests was to ask a mentor to share with the mentees or to share with us one of your specific goals. A goal that could be considered to be a specific goal. All right, Matthew helping me out again with my healthier lifestyle. I want to go to the gym 2 times a week. I want to eat less red meat, etc. Thank you so much, Matthew. So back to my mentor. I'm looking for a mentor, one mentor to contribute. And this is what I'm asking. Share with the mentees one of your goals that could be considered to be specific. All right. So I did ask about.
Good afternoon.
Go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Indeed, Matthew, this was a great presentation, as I've been saying in the chat, and I have learned something more on what little I know. And so, as Miss Campbell mentioned, so my goal for this year is to invest at least 10% in Mayberry, because I've been thinking about it, and then I actually went online, but somehow I got distracted. So I was reminded again through Matthew this afternoon about the opening Mayberry and what they're offering, because it seemed achievable and it seems sustainable as well.
Thank you for that.
So Matthew, am I chat?
It sounds so, Miss Marshall. Did you ask if you're on track?
Achievable so far, based on me.
Matthew, you want to
Indeed. It was specific because she wants to invest 10%. The 10% is, well, the achievable part would depend on you knowing your budget. So, and you know, how much room you have in your budget. But I think 10% is doable. I think 10% is doable for sure. You could maybe make it a bit more relevant if you also fleshed out what it is that you want to do with the funds. So if it is that you want to go to a vacation in December, or you want to have a certain amount of money for retirement, or you want to have, say, an emergency fund built up, that helps make it a bit more relevant. And what that does is it encourages you to stick to it and not just forget about it, as tends to happen.
Thank you very much, because I have the mission where I want to go on a cruise, not for this year, but at least next year. So I guess if I start at that, I will be on my way to achieve going on that Caribbean cruise.
Yes, that's lovely. Yes, man, and you can go further with it. Find out how much the cruises normally cost, or how much the specific one costs, exactly when in the year it is. And you can say, all right, if I invest this amount, this amount a month, then by this time I should have this much, and the rest can come from savings and so on. And when you do that, you're so much more likely to actually get to go on the cruise, instead of just, boy, I'd like to go on a cruise. It sounds nice, but haven't really done anything towards making it happen.
Thank you very much. I about 2 years ago, I actually checked the price, but it is out of, so I need to get back online with it now. Thank you so much.
Thanks again, Ms. Marshall, for your input. And Matthew has been nudging us throughout his presentation to say this is something that us as mentors can continue with our mentees. Look at what their goals are and assist them in making it smarter, right? So I do hope that outside of the mentees who would have benefited from the presentation, that the mentors rather, will also utilize this particular tool to assist in the process of guiding our mentees. All right. I trust that we would have.
And just one thing, Ms. Campbell.
Go ahead.
So I should have raised my hand, but this one. Yes, I'm thinking that the presentation that Matthew is going to give to Miss Lawrence, our founder, that could be shared, so that because it is so simple and easy to follow. You know, this is the best presentation I've participated in, so to speak, or attended, where Matthew did it so, I don't know how to express, but it is well done. And I think it is so simple and easy to follow. So probably, especially for the mentors who are not on this platform at this time, then probably it could be shared and we could look at it and use it to assist our mentees. That's my suggestion.
Perfectly so. So, I mean, in our executive meeting, we can figure out how to disseminate information and even guide the mentors who are not here, as you would have said. But indeed, it was, as you said, practical. I'll pick up that word for you, practical. It was delivered in a way that can be viewed as practical and can be replicated and utilized, right? So I must say again, thank you so much to our presenter. Thank you to our mentees who have joined. Thank you to our mentors who joined and even other guests who are online. And of course, as you know, we are always improving on what we do. As they would say, there's not always improvement with a change, but in order for there to be improvement, there must be change. I hope that wasn't so confusing. But what we are looking to do as well is to add other persons to the team, whether in the capacity of mentors or in the capacity of mentees. And of course, if we have persons who are not currently mentors or persons who are not currently mentees, we want you to feel free to reach out to us so that you can be added to the team. And of course, we have persons who will be able to add value, and we do welcome those persons, right? So if it is that you have an interest, I'm gonna, since my number is top of mind for me right now, I'm going to share my number, and you can of course reach out to me and the necessary connection can be made, right? So feel free if you're joining with us and you see where you will be able to impact one of our young persons positively, we do encourage. And if it is that you know of a youngster in your community that could benefit from such a program, feel free to direct that person to us. I did share my number in the chat. It's 353-5206. And I'm sure if you want to share your number, you can do it privately as well. But the best thing is to call me, because as soon as we close this meeting, it probably will go. So we look forward to hearing from you if you have an interest in sharing with us or sharing with our young people. Thank you so much again for joining. I will now hand over to our host, Ms. Tanika Thomas and Ms. Burton. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Auntie Damali. Now we will have Carla Thomas doing the closing prayer.
Good evening again, everyone. I must say this meeting was very informative presentation. You know, I have learned a lot, and my perspective and the whole acronym of SMART is now more enlightened, so to speak. So I just want to say thank you very much. Now let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for this evening. We thank you for the meeting. We thank you for the program, Lord God. We thank you for the presenter, young Matthew. Lord, I pray, dear God, that you will continue to use him, Lord God, to do your work. Heavenly Father, I pray, dear God, that you will bless each and every one of us here that are online, both mentees, mentors, and visitor, and our founder. Mighty God, we pray, dear Lord, that you will continue to cover us under your blood and help us, Lord Jesus, to do the work that you have set for us to do. Help us, Lord, to continue to walk. Amen.
Amen.
Good evening, everyone. Do have a wonderful evening. Thank you.